well, I don't know how this is going to sound or how it's going to look. It's a bit of a bodge up in order to get the camera in close, until I get a better camera, that is. Right, let's try putting on one of my surface mount capacitors on my new boards, using the old method of solder one side down and then the other. I think my soldering iron tip on this iron anyway is probably a decade overdue for a replacement. See, it sounds good, but this soldering iron hasn't had a new tip on it this century. The last time it had a new tip on it, as my hands are getting in the way of the camera, was well, 1990s, no, 1995-ish, something like that. So far ago, I have no idea. But it still gets used most days. And I suppose it will continue to get used until I finish building the power supply and the control for the other iron I got. These are Ws2812b's RGB LEDs, which are going to sit under the Nixie tube for a bit of I hope you can actually see this, because it's, I haven't really got the best setup in the world for this. Looks alright. Not the best, but it will probably do. Somewhere. I have some connectors, well, a connector. It was meant to go on there. Now, if I remember right, the voltages come on this side, so the voltages get the pins. Well, I can say these PCBs solder nicely. For the cost. I suppose that would do. That's it. these being the first ones I've ever ordered, actually very good. I think the whole price came in at £2. Obviously the next ones I want will be more expensive because the postage goes up. You get quite a heavy discount on the postage. So that's all I'm going to do at the moment. The next bit will be connecting the 5 volts and the signal up and seeing if the LEDs work. The next bit will be putting on the just checking around, because before I put the high voltage chip, the interface chip on, I want to make sure that it's tracked as it should have been. But first of all, I shall try that. So back in a moment. Here we have a quick demo of the Ws2812b RGB LEDs, NeoPixels, running off a really simple Arduino NeoPixel library just to flash them, so I can get an idea of what they will look behind it. And so that's the sort of first stage of the PCB build. The next stage will be putting on the driver chip and a few more capacitors. So I'll catch you in a bit when I've done that. Well, I think it's going to be a bit of a wobbly scope. Everything's wobbling today. So this is a 10 microfarad. This is the supply decoupling. You have to put up with, excuse the angle and the lighting and that, is that the eyesight's not brilliant, and even with glasses on I can't really see up close. So what I'm trying to do is get a view as best I can from underneath the microscope. It's a slight pain in the backside using the microscope, because obviously when I stop using the microscope and lean back to pick up a component, I can't see it. I see double because I haven't got my glasses on. So, sticky tweezers. Flux on me tweezers. Right, that fits nicely. So, I don't know what it's like in the rest of the world, but here in the UK at the moment, it's the wind's picking up, but it's still warm, which is unusual for our time of the year. I'd open the window, but there's some house building now going on across the road, and you get a lot of beep, 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 beep and other noises as the diggers are moving around. Unfortunately, I live in a village, which is the way it's going soon not to be a village. So I suppose the next thing to do is to put on one of the ICs. Next to do that, I shall put an earth strap on. I know there's lots of people out there that seem to get away with any problems with EMC, well, not EMC, ESD, but been doing this for years and I've always found that I have to wear something. So the mat is a bit crinkly because it was an ESD mat that had been rolled up for a long time. And no matter what I do, it doesn't seem to want to straighten out again. So it's going to be a fun one. Well, that's one on. Let's see. I think I soldered one in this corner. I think I'm going to have problems getting to solder because the chip is slightly the wrong size. Well, it's gone down, but I think there's going to be issues with soldering as the pads are virtually underneath the leg. So that's not a very good body. So I don't think this is going to work very well at all. Let's move the microscope up higher. Not the best soldering in the world, but does appear to have solder under it. So maybe this will work. Dead one, where's the focus gone? Maybe I should have done this with solder paste. So, touch wood though, so far they are soldering, or appear to be. I think it's a matter of put the solder between the pad and the pin, and then push it in with the iron. It seems to be getting enough solder underneath. Come on. If you don't succeed at first, move on and come back later when the pins had a chance to cool down. So work my way round. How many sides have I done? This one's not playing ball. Change your focus where I can see it. That's better. It's a bit hard trying to hold the ball, hold the board, hold the solder with one hand, hold the iron with the other, and see what you're doing. Oh, someone's done. That side's done. That side's got a dodgy one. Oh, sorry if I keep coming out of the way of the view of the camera. But, that one doesn't want to know. Oh, yep. Solder on them. Can't see if that one's got any solder on. No, I don't think that one's any good. Hopefully it's still recording, the screen's gone blank. Ah. See if the screen comes back on again. Yep, still going. I was just wondering whether give it a blast. Ooh, it's warm. I don't melt the camera now. Yeah, it's not too hot up there. Oh, that definitely seems to make it look better. Whew. Just hope I haven't melted anything close by. But, I don't know if I'm going to have to got the boards up. Oh. Be back whizzing a lot while the thing cools down. So, what do the solder joints look like? If I can get a focus on that. I don't think they look they look kind of soldered, no solder joint, no bridges that I can see. I don't know, that one looks, I don't know if you can see it, but oops, try to get some idea of where my finger's going. That one there looks a bit dodgy. Get some more light onto it. This will zoom in with the. I think the cameras are zoomed as far as it's going to go. Well, maybe it is. So, I suppose the next thing to do, I suppose, is to see if I can talk to it. So, I could put some more resistors on. I've got some 22Ks to go. And they're 22Ks. Yep, R6 and R2. 22Ks. Have I got any 22Ks? Oops, that's a bit bad, isn't it? Talking away and it's not doing anything. Try focusing. Oh, press. I don't know about these people that use the really small components, but I'm quite happy to stick with 1206. They're easy enough to work with. And my pet hate is when there's a board as big as my board here. What is the reason for going to stupidly, well, not stupidly small, but small components? I'm always under the impression that, you know, if you need tiny little components because your board's small and you need to get a lot on, then that justifies it. But never quite see the need that if you've got acres of room, you know, why you need such tiny components. You know, if you want to go to the real extremes, I had a Blaupunkt or a Bosch car player, and there was no resistors on that at all. Every time you came and found across a little resistor, it was just a painted on black lump with what looked like burn marks on it. So I reckon they just painted some conductive ink across all the resistor points, and then somehow went round with a laser and created the value they wanted. That's the only reason I had been doing it. There didn't appear to be any physical component. They just were just oblongs of black paint with zigzag lines on. Right. So I think that, oh, this focus is this. I do apologise for this camera and that, but it's, I feel I can get a better one. I've got to live with it, but if I don't, yeah, if you leave it, it just wanders around on its own. Never seems to want to focus. Never seems to want to do anything that I want it to do. But I must be a bad person, because obviously, you know, we always blame our tools. So there was one resistor left underneath. What was that? Oh, that's just an unknown value at the moment. So we'll see. Well, I think that'll be okay for the moment, and I might give it a clean and then look at doing the next components. Welcome back. I'm going to solder the pins for the Nixie tubes. Hopefully I've got a Nixie tube plugged in to keep the legs in the right place. Hopefully the heat's not going to damage them if I do it quickly enough. Hopefully this is going to work. If it doesn't, I'll have to find another supply of Nixie tubes. Oh, getting harder and harder to get hold of. Apart from buying them new, you can buy some nice big new ones, but they're not exactly cheap. Right. Shall we have a look under the microscope, and I'll be back in a minute. Well, it's been pretty hard trying to get a reasonable picture from the camera, playing with lights and all sorts of things, and the cameras just don't seem to like the colours. But at the moment this is just simply demonstrating the two tubes. You can't really see it down there, but the driver chip. There's a Ws2812b under each, giving the background illumination. There's a Arduino Mega providing the data signals, the two set signals, a serial data stream for the digits and a serial data stream for the LEDs. Just running a simple counting program at the moment. And down there is a simple switch mode power supply. So I'm feeding 12 volts into the power supply, 12 volts into the Uno, and the Uno is providing the 5 volts from the chip and the 5 volts for the LEDs, and the switch mode is providing 160 volts DC to drive the Nixies. And there it is, running one successful board. I've not made there's no mistakes, no tracking errors, worked first time. So all I've got to do now is knock up 3 more, and possibly then the idea is to put a sheet in front so that you can't see them. So I'm going to 3D print something to go in front to cover them all up, and finish the software to make a standalone clock, possibly connected to the Wi-Fi to so I won't have any buttons for updating it. Just turn it on and away it goes. So I think a successful conclusion for this stage, and the next video will show the other 3 stages and yeah, how I've got with maybe the extra hardware, or whether I'm going to carry on running an Uno or a Nano or something like that, or a Mega, whatever. Not really into the Arduinos, but they're cheap, simple, easy to program, and sort of a bit of a workhorse really. So there we have it. Well, if you like the video, you know, click down there to the subscribe button, and click somewhere around there, you know, to the notify button, and hopefully you've liked this, and I'll see you again. Catch you next time.